Today's video is all about arm depth. We're going to look at a couple key parameters that should determine how deep your arms are moving in the backswing. So what we're looking at here is our gears image, a down the line view, pure down the line view, pure top view. And we also have the rib cage rotation numbers and lead arm abduction numbers, which is essentially from the spine to the left shoulder down to the elbow. It's that angle in real time. It's a really complex movement of the arm shoulder complex there. And to really see it visually, you got to kind of keep the camera at 90 degrees to that movement as it's happening. Thankfully, Gears makes it real easy for us, and they just give us a number that we can post here on the video happening in real time. And these are real pros making real golf swings. We just remove the club with a little click of a button, so it'll make it a little less cluttered here on the screen. So we're going to extend the target line, then we're going to put a little vertical line here up from the golfer's toes. And take note of when this swing starts, the golfer's right around 80 degrees of that shoulder abduction angle. And we're going to see where he winds up at this left arm parallel, this lead arm parallel spot in the backswing. That's what we're going to focus in on this video. We can see he just lost a couple degrees. We can see what it visually looks like from down the line. Now we can see what it looks like from the top view relative to the target line. The golfer only, I say only because I think a lot of people really are under the impression that that left arm really moves in and across relative to the target line. He's only moved it in 14 degrees, and this golfer plays a draw. One of the most accurate players on tour plays a draw, and it served him quite well over his career. Now let's take a look at another golfer, another multiple tour winner, and we're going to see he starts around 84 degrees. Let's scroll him up there at that left arm parallel, see where he winds up. So 19 degrees. So this is really kind of that range that we're going to see, the top end of that range. We have one more golfer, I believe, who gets his left arm in more than 19 degrees, and he actually plays a fade. I think a lot of folks are under the impression that faders have the left arm much closer to the target line, drawers have it much farther inward, and it's just not what we see in our data. But again, the one that has it the most inward is actually a fader. This guy's very close, and he is a drawer of the golf ball. But now I want you to take note. He lost a few degrees, about 4 degrees of that shoulder abduction angle, but look at how much he's rotated his torso. Now, kind of right around the average that we see hovers between 50 and 60 degrees. For reference, Jamie Sadlowski, with all the rotation that he has at the top of his backswing, well over 110 degrees. Torso rotation, not shoulders, torso rotation. At left arm parallel with a driver, he's 60 degrees. So this golfer has quite a lot of torso rotation. That's why his left arm is farther inward compared to our first drawer of the ball. And it's really that relationship between that shoulder abduction angle, and this is right in the range, kind of where they either add a couple degrees to where they started or they lose a couple degrees, but that really stays the same. So basically that relationship that the golfer has at address pretty much stays intact, shoulder relative to spine and upper lead arm, to when they get to this lead arm parallel in the backswing at the spot you see here. So there's not a lot of inward movement necessarily of the lead arm as it runs through this point in the golf swing. Now let's take a quick look at a fader of the ball. And we'll see his lead arm doesn't move in much because he has very little rib cage rotation at this point in the golf swing. So that's really the thing to take away from this video, is this abduction angle relative to the rib cage is really what should determine how deep your lead arm gets. It's not just a matter of throwing that lead arm in across your chest. So let's go back and look at that second golfer, our most inward arm depth in this video, and just see what kind of some other numbers that we've had golfers come in talk about what they would actually look like. So this is the 70 degree torso rotation, 20 degree arm depth. And again, that's the top end of the scale that we see. Now let's move this golfer to a 45 degree arm depth while still maintaining a good shoulder abduction angle. His torso would have to be rotated almost 90 degrees. And that's something that we haven't seen any good player come close to at this left arm parallel in the backswing. It's just an extreme number that we just haven't seen. But that's what it would take this golfer to get to 45 degrees if he kept that matchup, that correct matchup of the left shoulder adduction and the rib cage. So again, as you're working on this in your own swing, kind of keep these numbers in the back of your mind. Visually, you can make a lot of things look a lot of different ways in the golf swing. That's why we like using the gears, because we get these true angles. But keep in mind, the relationship that you're interested in is that adduction angle and the rib cage, that torso turning. It's not just about getting one of those, and it's certainly not just about collapsing that left arm across your chest to get your hands deeper. That will most likely get you in trouble coming into the downswing. We've done videos that in the past. It's a big deal, and hopefully this will clear up a few of these things with how the arms move in the backswing. If not, let us hear your questions in the comment section down below. We'll do our best to answer them. Thanks again for watching.